It's New Year's Day. Yesterday we saw a Twitter post which we're trying to confirm right now. And it's a post originally done on Reddit by FBI Anon talking about 7 shipping containers being tracked through Canada. According to the post, these containers are en route to the United States and the SEALs and CERT are tracking them. These containers are said to have weapons on board of massive power, and apparently ISIS is behind this shipment. We think that this report has been scrubbed by Reddit to deter people from finding out about this. This is what Dan Bongino was talking about earlier today when he was on Fox News, and he was talking about having trouble confirming information. He was actually talking about Iran, but in the situation we're in, it's the same exact thing. We're being blocked once we find out something because the information is either really explosive and could get people killed, or it's going to thwart the efforts of the deep state, who's colluding with mainstream media, Google, and social media. I'm not going to tell you where these are supposed to be headed for until we get this information confirmed. But I want to say that the event yesterday in Denver was about distracting us from something bigger, and this appears to be it. And also yesterday we had a post by Julian Assange, which you can see here. It is cryptic and had a key attached to a video. The video itself seemed to be making fun of the cabal if you look at the lyrics, and you can do that on your own when you find the video. That being said, we figured out Assange is in the United States under the protection of the Trump administration and is working with President Trump to bring down the deep state. We believe he has been given immunity and asylum and is cooperating fully to bring forth information that can literally save our country and the world from the New World Order for a while. Hours after we were discussing this, an Anon post said exactly the same thing. Assange was a major influencer in getting President Trump elected by revealing many truths about crooked Hillary and her campaign, and also Trader 44, which we already knew, but we're having trouble confirming, and everybody was telling us we weren't telling the truth, but we actually were. Assange just confirmed what we already know. This same drop coincides with a number of posts on Twitter by QAnon, another person who goes by B. Whether Anon and QAnon are the same, we can't confirm, but the intel seems to be good, as we can see that mainstream media is reporting the protests in Iran, while this post says it's no longer under the control of George Soros. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Soros, he's a Jew who turned on his own people and was the facilitator of many Jews being killed by the Nazis. He fled after the war to the U.S., and why he's not been prosecuted for any war crimes, I really don't know, but it appears his connections are about the same reason Crooked Hillary and Trader 44 are still on the loose. Now, these little hints were dropped on Twitter yesterday, and I'll just go through them really quick, and you can compare them to the Anon post and the events we're watching unfold. So let's take a look at these. The first one was this one. New Year's Eve hint 1. At least 30 congressmen will not be returning after their holiday break. I just want to go through these real fast. The second one. Julian Assange is safe. He's not where he appears to be. He is a key player in justice. Now, I find that very interesting, since Jeff Sessions seems to be really wanting to prosecute Julian Assange. Now, let's look at number 3. Iran is no longer in George Soros' control. Iran is one of 8 countries that will see a regime change in the near future. Very interesting there. We're seeing one happen right now in Iran. Now on 4, major, very recognizable globalist family squealing like pigs. We were thinking it was actually the Bushes, but apparently it's the Rothschilds, according to the post. And then look at number 5. It is some kind of a control room somewhere. And then number 6, the target picked up when Atlanta went dark is so much bigger than anyone can imagine. So I don't know who could be bigger than Hillary Clinton, but if it's someone bigger than we can imagine, it could be just about anybody. So let's take a look at these flights. that are happening right now. As I'm posting this, there are several flights with the transponders off. No call signs, nothing. Leaving Florida, we believe headed for Gitmo. Again, and I'll wait to tell you who I think it is, but suffice it to say, we think it's the facilitator. I'm posting a link to the flight tracker below so you can keep an eye on it yourself. Now, these flights are flying at 40,000 feet, which is very unusual for any planes, in particular private jets. You can see in this picture the line which shows where the transponder is turned off. Right now, there are 3 planes in the air that we can see and are not showing these call signs. They're flying really high, especially when you think about the sort of distance of travel between Florida and Gitmo. Usually, they don't fly like this when it's such a short distance. Look at these. Here's the screenshots from the phone browser. What's odd about all this is the desktop drops the planes completely when the phone browser is showing them. It shows no call signs, but it's at least showing the plane, but not on the desktop. This is total manipulation, folks. All right, now if you're paying any attention, you can also see in these hints given by QAnon that there are between 30 and 50 congressmen, like I said, who won't be returning after this little break. I just said that when we were looking at those tweets that happened yesterday. I've had this confirmed on multiple levels from various sources who are well connected in the government, and I have a tendency to believe these sealed indictments are pushing these guys out of office. I hope this is the case. Not only has President Trump continued to drain the swamp, his close circle is efficiently and swiftly changing the destruction Trader 44 tried to cause and almost got away with. Without Assange and people like him letting us see the truth about these people who are supposed to have our best interest in mind, it's possible the deep state would have gotten away with all these plans. Keep vigilant, people. Keep reporting and keep sending us the information. We try to verify all reports. We use sources we believe are the best we can get to ensure that you're getting the best information that you can to keep yourself and your family safe. As I said last time, President Trump is working diligently on our safety and bringing down this deep state. He considers this a high alert situation and knows they are behind this plan to bring down the United States and state a one world government. Thanks, everyone.
So there are so many people in this takedown now that are being taken down as we speak. I've seen it, and I can tell you that they're doing such a great job getting everybody. And I can see things being restored as I blink because they have done such an amazing job. And the reason that that one happened in Virginia is no accident, that somebody caught it and they put it in an article. So they're trying to state without stating what it is and who it is that they're doing it, and it's that important. But for the rest of them, they're doing in secret, everybody. My other story stands that we are not going to have announcement after announcement. We are going to see the public republic being restored, and it is. Every day is better than the day before. These people have been working non-stop, and they are going to be some of the most unthanked heroes of our planet because they're doing this, and they can never ever reveal all their details. They have to do it that way to save us, but they are heroes, and we need to value their work and appreciate them because they are the only ones that were strong enough to save us from the destruction. And they will never likely be named, ever. They have this impossible task. They have to work in secret, private, and quiet, and do it in whatever time that they know they can accomplish this. And I'm sure they have to strategically plan each one of these takedowns separately and secretly without even the hint of having somebody be able to escape or have it leaked, and then have double work and not even get the result. This is an impossible, impossible job, and they are doing a masterful job, and they are heroes. And whoever it is, and however many there are, they are to be thanked and praised. And it is the wonder of our president that he ever compiled a team that could carry this off and keep the biggest predator in the planet out of the way, which would be fake news from every level. And these people have to be the most trusted confidants of the United States, the government, and our president that we have ever seen. And we have understood that without Democratic and congressional and Senate support, he has had to run this country for a year alone. But newsflash, he is not alone. He is beloved. He has more support and more power at his rallies and from people like us, and that would be we the breadcrumbs, we the channels, we the tweeters, we the YouTubers, we the emailers, and we the Facebook people that have put out what a wonderful person he is. And with this power that he has instilled in his wish to save our country, honor our veterans, and save our military, reconstruct the damaged FBI and bring it back to a clean leadership and take out the people that have destroyed it. So whoever he compiled in this massive takedown are another slew of people he has been able to trust, because they have carried it out so far and will continue to carry it out without incident. And President Trump is resting in Florida for New Year's and smiling, saying, I did so much this year, and he knows it. And when he's a confident man the way that he is, his own knowledge is enough. He doesn't need Hollywood support. He doesn't need the media to praise him. He knows his worth. And so don't we. And so doesn't every single person that is doing a proper takedown of the criminal cabal in total secret. Thank you.
Today I want to tell you an American story. I want to tell you the story of a young American soldier in Iraq. The soldier was born in Crescent, Oklahoma, to a Welsh mother and to a US Navy father. His parents fell in love. His father was stationed at the US military base in Wales. The soldier showed early promise as a boy, winning top prizes at science fairs 3 years in a row. He believed in the truth, and like all of us, he hated hypocrisy. He believed in liberty and the right for all of us to pursue it and happiness. He believed in the values that founded an independent United States. He believed in Madison, he believed in Jefferson, and he believed in Paine. Like many teenagers, he was unsure what to do with his life, but he knew he wanted to defend his country, and he knew he wanted to learn about the world. He entered the US military and, like his father, trained as an intelligence analyst. In late 2009, aged 21, he was deployed to Iraq. There, it is alleged, he saw a US military that did not often follow the rule of law, and in fact engaged in murder and supported political corruption. It is alleged it was there in Baghdad in 2010 that he gave to WikiLeaks, he gave to me, and it is alleged he gave to the world details that exposed the torture of Iraqis, the murder of journalists, and the detailed records of over 120,000 civilian killings in Iraq and in Afghanistan. He is also alleged to have given WikiLeaks 251,000 US diplomatic cables, which then went on to help trigger the Arab Spring. This young soldier's name is Bradley Manning. Allegedly betrayed by an informer, he was then imprisoned in Baghdad, imprisoned in Kuwait, and imprisoned in Virginia, where he was kept for 9 months in isolation and subject to severe abuse. The UN Special Rapporteur for Torture, Juan Mendez, investigated and formally found against the United States. Hillary Clinton's spokesman resigned. Bradley Manning, science fair all-star, soldier and patriot, was degraded, abused, and psychologically tortured by his own government. He was charged with a death penalty offence. These things happened to him as the US government tried to break him, to force him to testify against WikiLeaks and me. As of today, Bradley Manning has been detained without trial for 856 days. The legal maximum in the US military is 120 days. It is his administration that boasts on his campaign website of criminalising more speech than all previous presidents combined. I am reminded of the phrase, the audacity of hope. Who can say that the President of the United States is not audacious? Was it not audacity for the United States government to take credit for the last 2 years of progress? Was it not audacious for him to say on Tuesday the United States supported the forces of change in the Arab Spring? Tunisian history did not begin in December 2010, and Mohamed Bouazizi did not set himself on fire so Barack Obama could be re-elected. His death was an emblem of the despair he had to endure under the Ben Ali regime. The world knew, after reading WikiLeaks publications, that Ben Ali and its government had for long years enjoyed the indifference, if not the support, of the United States, in full knowledge of its excesses and its crimes. So it must come as a surprise to Tunisians that the United States supported the forces of change in their country. And it must come as a surprise to the Egyptian teenagers who washed American tear gas out of their eyes that the US administration supported change in Egypt. It must come as a surprise to those who heard Hillary Clinton insist that Mubarak's regime was stable, and when it was clear to everyone that it was not, it must come as a surprise that the US backed its hated intelligence chief, Omar Suleiman, who we proved the US knew was a torturer, to take the realm. It must come as a surprise to all those Egyptians who heard Vice President Joseph Biden declare that Hosni Mubarak was a Democrat and that Julian Assange was a high-tech terrorist. It is disrespectful to the dead and to the incarcerated of Bahrain's uprising to claim that the United States supported the forces for change. That is indeed audacity. Who can say that it is not audacious that the President, concerned to appear to look leaderly, looks back on this change, the people's change, and tries to call it his own? But we can take heart here too, because it means that the White House has seen that this progress is inevitable. In this season of progress, the President has seen which way the wind is blowing, and he must now pretend that it's his administration who made it blow. We agree when President Obama said yesterday that people can resolve their differences peacefully. We agree that diplomacy can take the place of war, and we agree that this is an interdependent world that all of us have a stake in. We agree that freedom and self-determination are not merely American or Western values, but universal values. And we agree with the President when he says that we must speak honestly if we are serious about these ideals. But fine words languish without commensurate action. President Obama spoke out strongly in favour of the freedom of expression. Those in power, he said, have to resist the temptation to crack down on dissent. It is time for President Obama to do the right thing and join the forces of change, not in fine words, but in fine deeds.
Fearing death, WikiLeaks' Julian Assange releases password to large cache of Hillary files. You can bet after the news of the Russian Clinton-Obama collusion broke on Tuesday about all the extortion, bribery, and money laundering that WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is feeling a little bit edgy. After all, Assange has been telling Americans for years Hillary Clinton was corrupt and evil and colluded with the Russians. Too bad not many Americans listened. Now more truth is coming out, and WikiLeaks Assange was right all along. It's suspected that Hillary Clinton could be on the verge of being totally exposed by the release of more compromising and revealing files held by WikiLeaks, based upon the recent posting of rather cryptic set of letters and numbers on Twitter by founder Julian Assange. Wouldn't that be awesome? Clinton was recently in Australia to promote her book, What Happened, about the 2016 election, and reiterated her belief that WikiLeaks and Assange, who she termed as nihilistic, opportunist, who does the bidding for a dictator according to the International Business Times, were in league with Russia and partially to blame for her electoral loss. Assange replied via Twitter, WikiLeaks has a pristine record for accuracy. Hillary Rodham Clinton is not a credible person. The primary cause of her downfall was her own Machiavellian scheme to elevate Mr. Trump Pied Piper. The tweet contained a link to Clinton's interview as well as a link to the latest WikiLeaks dump exposing Russian interests. Less than 20 minutes later, Assange then tweeted what many believe is an encryption code or dead man switch that would ensure the release of certain files by third parties or even automatically by a computer program in the event of his being detained or killed prior to his own determination of when to release such files. About an hour and a half later, Assange posted one more tweet regarding Clinton that some suspect hinted at what the prior encryption code could be the key to unlock. There's something wrong with Hillary Clinton. It's not just her constant lying. It is not just that she throws off menacing glares and seethes thwarted entitlement. Watch closely, something much darker rides along with it. A cold creepiness rarely seen, Assange tweeted. Of course, the posting of an encryption code that could possibly unlock secret files revealing damning information about Hillary Clinton has fueled conspiracies, but the IB Times noted that Assange has posted such encryption codes several times in the past as a sort of insurance safeguard prior to a massive document dump. Interestingly, a site known as the Duran documented a series of tweets from Fox News host Sean Hannity in reference to Assange, most notably one a week prior to Assange's cryptic tweet that read T-7 and counting tick-tock, quite possibly a knowing reference to an upcoming document dump. Of course, we all know who Hillary Clinton hates the most next to Donald Trump, and that's WikiLeaks. After all, it was WikiLeaks that exposed most of her corruption to the public. Even though if you asked Hillary Clinton, she would insist that WikiLeaks is nothing more than propaganda backed by the Russians to make her look bad. Hillary Clinton is such a pathetic liar. Hillary and the Democrats used this whole Russian propaganda and all the fake news of the Russia-Trump collusion to deflect away from the real truth about the real Russia, Obama, Clinton, Mueller, and several others' collusion. Pretty sad that all of these Democrats would put money over America's own national security. That's the real and sick truth. There is just much disgusting swamp to drain in Washington, D.C. President Trump can't do it alone. The sad part is this swamp isn't just filled with Democrats. Republicans are just as guilty. Speaking of guilty, when are the real criminals going to pay the price? From Hillary Clinton and her pay-to-play scandals to the Uranium One deal, someone needs to pay the price other than the American taxpayers. How does Hillary Clinton continue to be involved in these enormous crimes and nothing happens? It's one filthy deal after another. My gut tells me that until Trump can clean out the Obama leftovers, there will continue to be members of the swamp in his own administration. The drain is backed up and clogged with demo rats. It's time to drain the swamp. In the meantime, I would look for another WikiLeaks dump by Julian Assange to come very soon with more revealing Clinton documents. There are still thousands of deleted emails from Clinton's private server that she refused to turn over to investigators that Assange could choose from. Let's hope he lets it all out. You can bet that Hillary Clinton isn't going to like it at all. Knowing her, she is thinking of ways to stop more of the truth coming out from WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. Let's hope Assange can stay safe. Lord knows Hillary Clinton has a long enough trail of bodies just in the past year, from Sean Lucas to Seth Rich, Bernie Wissenant, Molly McCauley, and others. We also know she already threatened to take Julian Assange out with a drone. It's time to put a stop to the Clinton corruption, don't you think? Maybe this was the calm before the storm that Trump was referring to. We'll all know soon enough. Tighten